We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men and women are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights governments are instituted, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. With these words printed in the Seneca Falls Declaration of Sentiments of 1848, suffragists, feminists, and the average woman alike professed their frustration with the world of male dominance, the world wherein there existed a gender hierarchy, the world wherein the woman was disenfranchised by the institution itself. The pressure for change had been building, yet the woman's shout was but a mere whisper in the ear of society. As industry changed, as the household transformed, it was an opportune time for progress. The leaders of this classical feminist movement had one goal in mind, to experience the receipt of respect and justice that had been long withheld from them by the cold hands of inequality and prejudice. While this presentation uses humor to convey the social climate of this period, the matters presented herein are very much serious. The expressions and desires of women were neglected and ignored. In no way is this meant to minimize the hardships of women during this time. It is merely purposed to express them in a creative, relatable, and comedic way. The statements made and props used should remain in the context of this video.
Now it is time to meet our cast. Here we see Mary, our frustrated housewife.
Look at this dude.
Her husband, John, is a drunken lawyer who continuously neglects her thoughts. Shall we see what the clamor is about?
The day was October 26th, the year 1849. In the quaint home situated in a desolate region of New York, the glare of the slowly diminishing candles in the window, the smooth sound of a burning log, veiled the unrest and tension that exists behind the walls. For now women felt not so alone as before, their pursuits not so isolated, having learned of the Seneca Falls Convention and the propositions it had asserted.
Honey, what's wrong? I made this just for you, and you're not even eating. What could be troubling you to where you'd reject my dinner?
I'm not very hungry. It's been a stressful day, my dear.
But dear, it's Tim season. Let's dig in.
Well, if my hunch stature is not enough indicative, then I must express the difficulty of today's work. I had this one gentleman, you see, approach me to pursue legal aid in a suit against his employer and landlord. You, woman, would not have a clue of what we men struggle with.
Well, dear, that may very well be true, but it's all a matter of perspective now, isn't it? Continue. What about that man who you had helped today?
Well, nothing. I'm the provider of this home's income, with the weight of this family on my shoulders. What hardships could there exist in this sheltered life you live? What could be more troubling than those which I encounter?
Am I permitted to speak my true thoughts to you, my male superior, or will I face consequences later?
Enlighten me then, if you so wish.
For one, this very conversation serves as a testament to my struggles. I must toil in this house all day, cleaning, cooking, sewing, raising kids, just to answer to you, a man, when you come home. What is worse, I must withhold my thoughts from you, because I know they will not be understood nor appreciated.
I would love to stay at home all day, worried simply by my obligations. Cooking, cleaning, sounds not so bad to me. Maybe I am mistaken, but I fear you would be incapable of doing a man's work like mine, in the real world. Now you wouldn't want that now, would you?
But that is exactly what I want. I want only liberty and opportunities in this world, just to prove that I am capable as any man is. I find that it is just unfair that I'm treated inferior as a subhuman just because of my gender. I cannot vote. I'm hated if I pursue education. My property is stolen upon marriage. I cannot divorce a man who I do not like, who treats me like garbage. I'm seen as an attachment to the man I marry without my independent status of my own. Do you not see anything wrong with this?
This is merely a consequence of your capabilities. Your innocence should be shielded.
What innocence? Have you seen the women at Seneca Falls fighting for the rights of men and women alike, trying to abolish slavery, trying to get suffrage for women, the right to vote? What more do us women want in this world? We want stability, better families, more connection, and you just keep destroying it.
You women have no respect for what men do in this household. Take your food.
By the way, I'm no more innocent than you are.
While most men remained adamant in their oppressive views, women were toiling to progress their status. Women like Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Susan B. Anthony wrote articles in newspapers, organized conventions, and met and discussed matters in the privacy of their homes. Though in some places the right to vote or suffrage was gained in the early 1900s, it was not until 1920 that women were granted the vote. This marked not the end of the women's rights movement, but a new beginning. After John passes out from his excessive consumption of alcohol, Mary works and advocates for her rights, training to revolt.
Most middle-class families hired at least one maid or cook to assume responsibility for many household chores. Women were expected to stay home, raising the children and making the home a comfortable retreat. The cult of domesticity glorified this structure, wherein the man provided the income of the home and the woman tended to domestic or household issues.
This, as well as many oppressive restrictions that were instituted, pressured women to advocate for their legal representation, their receipt of education, and their rights in marriage. The accomplishments of women were often shadowed by those of men. Even worse, a male relative would take credit for a woman's work. And such an example is Julia Brainerd Hall.
As a result, several movements began. The temperance movement that sought to limit the consumption of alcohol, the abolition movement which aimed to eradicate slavery, and of course, the suffrage movement. These topics and their leaders have been covered at a greater depth within the PowerPoint and verbal presentation.
That is all. Thank you.